What do wine and synthetic chemistry have in common? More than you might think. Hi, my name's Kayla Youngblood. I'm a junior at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, working with Dr. Kimberly Peterson. Thank you for taking the time to look at my poster. Wine's complex flavor profile comes from several organic molecules. One is called an oak lactone, pictured on this slide. When wine or other alcohol is aged in oak barrels, it becomes infused with the oak lactone, giving it the characteristic woody flavor. The lactone structure, highlighted in red, is a cyclical ester. Lactones are responsible for numerous flavors and aromas. A change at one of the asymmetric centers in the oak lactone, highlighted in blue, results in a celery flavor. Lactones are also of great biological interest. Pictured on this slide is opotholone D, a drug being used to treat cancer. Lactone structures are also found in antibiotics and pneumonia treatments. Medicine, like opotholone D, can have large complex structures, making it difficult to synthesize them. Chemists often adopt a building block approach. They build smaller molecules and then piece them together. One struggle is the asymmetric nature of these structures. Asymmetric molecules are similar to our hands. They have a mirror image version that is non-superimposable. Both of our hands are arranged in the same manner, but our right hand cannot fit into a left-handed glove. In the same way, one version of an asymmetric compound can fit into a biological receptor, and one cannot. Because of this, it's vital that researchers create the correct version of a compound. The incorrect version can be less effective or cause dangerous side effects. However, developing new methods of synthesis is costly and time-consuming. I work on developing new methods of synthesizing asymmetric building block molecules. This work focuses specifically on lactones. Scheme A shows the background for this research. Previously, the Peterson group has synthesized lactones from diester structures with high yield and high selectivity for one asymmetric version over the other. We wanted to expand on this work by using a nitrile, a carbon-nitrogen triple bond, as our starting material. The Pinner reaction in Scheme A is a well-known method of making esters from nitriles. However, it requires harsh and dangerous reaction conditions. This limits the scale and the complexity of the reaction. Additionally, this does not produce the necessary cyclical product. The work by Ablender et al. Demonstrates the possibility of an intramolecular Pinner reaction. This produces the necessary cyclical lactone. However, it does not examine the selectivity. My work aims to create a lactone from dinitriles using mild reaction conditions and examine the selectivity for one asymmetric version over another. To our knowledge, this is the first stereoselective Pinner cyclization. Scheme B shows the general synthesis of the lactone. There are 4 steps: the reduction of the double bond, second, alkylation to add extra carbons and oxygen, then removal of the protecting group on the oxygen, and finally, the cyclization step. The alkylation step proved more difficult than initially expected. Scheme C shows several attempts with no desired reaction occurring. We tested different solvents, equivalences of sodium hydride, limiting reagents, and finally temperature. Heating the reaction overnight was key to successful synthesis. Through several iterations with the benzyl R group, we improved the purification process and the yield was brought up to 92%. The isopropyl R group has been more difficult to react. I hypothesized that the restricted sterics of the benzyl group is actually beneficial for our desired reaction. The final steps in the reaction are removal of the protecting group and then cyclization, shown in Scheme D. Currently, these steps are happening simultaneously. While it might seem beneficial to have less steps, it means we cannot control which asymmetric molecule is formed. We end up getting a 50-50 mixture of both. Ultimately, this work demonstrates that there are mild reaction conditions for the Pinner reaction. Further work must be done to improve the selectivity. My future work will focus on isolating the deprotection and cyclization step. If I can separate these, then I can control the outcome of the reaction. I predict that by decreasing the reaction time and lowering the temperature of the reaction, I can deprotect without further cyclization. Thank you to my mentors Dr. Peterson and Josh Frost for their continuous support.